Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I just want you guys to know, each and every one of y'all, I really appreciate you spending some time with me every day on these videos and watching them. Very grateful for that. So welcome everybody to today's video. And guys, today we are going to be discussing Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Brian New's recent disqualification from the tournament. And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts about that. You've probably seen it if you follow fishing. It's been in the news for about a week and a half now. And I sort of wanted to give you guys my take on it. And also, and even more importantly, I want to speak to the bigger picture of what this goes beyond. And of course, I'll be curious to get your guys' opinion on the topic also. Before we get started, guys, I just wanted a quick reminder. You guys hear me talk about my Tackle Warehouse link all the time about using it, the ones I put in the description. If you guys aren't familiar with that, Tackle Warehouse is the biggest online bass fishing distributor in the country, and you can order anything that you could possibly want, anything from trolling motors to depth finders to rods, reels, lures, whatever, rain jackets. You can get them all there online at Tackle Warehouse. And if you use every video, I put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description, my affiliate link. And if you guys use that link when you order your fishing tackle, the channel gets a small percentage of anything you buy there commission wise. So it's a really good way to give back to the channel if you're inclined to do so. So really appreciate that. Okay guys, you probably heard this talking about it. Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Brian New getting disqualified from that tournament. Now, apparently there was a violation of Rule C7 in the Bassmaster rules that says you can't interfere with other anglers. And apparently what happened is he was fishing for a visible bedding fish and couldn't get the fish to bite. So what he did apparently was blow the bed out with his motor. I can't remember if it was his big motor or his trolling motor, but anyway, he flushed it out. He prop washed it, turned it to mud, and left. So apparently nobody else could fish it, but nobody else could get that fish to bite since he couldn't get it to bite. And they disqualified him for that rule about interfering with other people, possibly coming in to try to catch that fish. So first of all, I could care less about that rule. What I could care less is the tremendous amount of disrespect that he showed for that fish by doing that. It's such a bunch of crap that some dude would come in there and try to jack with and jerk a bass off the spawning bed that's actually trying to spawn and reproduce so people have fish to catch. And then when he can't catch it, he decides to wash the bed out, maybe even destroying the bed, maybe, having the fish abandon the nest or whatever, and then drives off. That is just a bunch of bullshit for anybody to do that. I think that is shows a tremendous lack of sportsmanship and a tremendous lack of respect for the fish and the fishery and bass fishing. But anyway, beyond that, I think most people would agree with that. Some people say, well, that was just a move to, excuse me, that was just a move to like a competitive move, so he wouldn't give his competitors edge. I call BS on that. I just think it's poor sportsmanship. He deserved to be disqualified for that. But it speaks to the bigger picture about this whole bed fishing deal. Why in the hell are we having tournaments during the bed season? That is the most stupid thing that tournament organizations, any tournament organization does. And every one of them does it. I don't care if it's club tournaments, if it's weekend tournaments, BFL, Bassmaster tournaments, even that Touring Anglers Association tournament, as great as that thing was with no live scope and 360, they put the tournament right on top of the bed fishing season at Lake Lanier. Every dang fish on the lake was on a bed. We have got to stop this. This is the most irresponsible, unconservationist action any tournament organization can possibly take. We have no business trying to catch these fish when they're actually actively bedding off on beds. And it's been going on way too long. It's been going on ever since I've been fishing, and I do not understand it. We are supposed to be conservationists out here. That's, most people, they frown at saying being an environmentalist, which I consider it a badge of honor, but they can get behind being a conservationist because, like Johnny Morris is, all the millions he donates to conservation. But why are we scheduling tournaments on top of the bedding season that are pulling these fish off of bedding, that are trying to spawn and reproduce and keep the bass populations going? Why are we interfering with that? Because it's not like it's all year long. You're only talking about a 3 or 4 week window all year long that they can just stay away from these lakes when they're bedding. It's just like that Touring Anglers Association event they had last week at Lake Lanier. Why did they have it right on top of the bedding season at Lake Lanier? They could have had it a month earlier or a month later and completely avoided that. The tournament directors and the people that schedule these tournaments have got to start being more responsible, and they've got to start waking up and pull their heads out of the sand and quit having these tournaments on top of the bedding season. Because here's a lot of different things. It's like, number one, it's terrible for the fish. It's like, we don't know if you pull a fish off a spawning bed, if that fish is even going to spawn again. They may just give up on it and absorb their eggs. They may get foul hooked and die. Say for example, there's a male guarding, the fish have already spawned on the bed, and there's a male hanging around guarding the fry. Some guy comes in there and jerks that male off the bed. Now the fry are exposed and they get eat up by bluegills and crawdads and stuff. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world that we're still fishing during the bedding season. And on top of that, you've got some of the anti-fishing organizations like PETA and different type of, people that are just opposed to this in general. It adds fuel to the fire. When you're talking about, taking fish out of their spawning ritual, that just gives people that are against fishing more ammunition to put up against fishing. And I remember this one tournament that I was at. I think it was at Lake Murray in South Carolina years ago. And the tournament was right on top of the bedding season. And I was flipping boat docks. And there was this little old lady on the dock down there. She's probably 80 years old. And she was madder than hell. There was some guy I guess there was like a 5-pound bass that was bedding underneath her walkway that was her pet. It's like she had a name for this bass. And some guy came in there right in front of her and jerked that fish off the bed and put it in her live well. She was cussing. She was like, "That son bitch come in here and jerk my whatever off the bed." It's just like, it's a terrible PR, experience for us to even have, being able to fish during the bedding season, along with being a poor conservation issue. So anyway, guys, point of the video is I'm glad, Brian got disqualified. I'm glad anyone would get disqualified for doing that, for being so disrespectful for the fish. Tournament organizations, please wake up and do the right thing and start scheduling these tournaments away from the prime bedding season. Start putting some tournaments in the fall time of the year. I remember that we used to have tournaments in the fall time of the year until a couple guys started whining that it was interfering with their deer hunting season. I could care less about somebody's deer hunting season. Make a decision if you want to be a bass fisherman or if you want to hunt deer for a living. We should have tournaments during the time of the year that it does not infringe upon the future sustainability of our sport. That's why you should not have tournaments right on top of the spawn. You shouldn't have them like late in the post spawn when the fish are really, really fatigued from spawning, or the heat of the summer when you're going to lose a lot of fish by keeping them in live wells. So all it is just a change in scheduling. So and tournament guys are put in a predicament, because it's a dilemma for me, because I don't want to fish during the bedding season, but I'm forced to fish during the bedding season, and we all are. Anyone that fishes tournaments, a lot of guys don't like it either, but they're forced to by the tournament organization. So again, along with having these guys get rid of spotlighting, let's work on trying to have the tournament organization start rescheduling these events where we're not, undermining our own success in bass fishing by taking, millions of eggs out of the lake that would have been there normally if we didn't, pull those fish off the bed. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. We'll talk later. See you.